Good morning, family. Today is section 41. It's February 4th, 1831 in Kirtland, Ohio. It's for the church at Kirtland, and its prominent doctrine or theme is a true discipleship and presiding bishop. So they've now gone from New York to Kirtland, and it's a new era in church history? Sure, let's call it that. So Kirtland is where the law is given. And this main part of, the main gist of this section is for the people to pray to receive the law. So the Lord tells them to go to Kirtland, go to the Ohio, so that they can receive his law. And then once they get there, he says, all right, you need to pray to receive my law. So just going there doesn't qualify them to receive his law. They have to pray for it. So let's see. Let's see. In the podcast, they didn't really talk a lot about Section 41, but what they did say was they were talking about Edward Partridge, and he's called as the first bishop. And, in verse 11 it says, "And this because his heart is pure before me, for he is like unto Nathanael of old, in whom there is no guile." And, guile just means that there's no deceit, no lying, totally open and honest. And what struck me about this one is in the podcast they're like, oh, I would love for the Lord to describe me like this. And I was thinking, how would the Lord describe me if he were giving if he were giving a revelation for me today? How would he describe me? What would be said about me? Just an internal question to think about. And then something else that struck me in my own personal reading. Sorry, I'm very tired. Is verse 12. It says, "These words are given unto you, that they are pure before. These words are given unto you, and they are pure before me. Wherefore, beware how you hold them, for they are to be answered upon your souls in the day of judgment." That's kind of a frightening thought. Beware how you hold them, for they are to be answered upon your souls in the day of judgment. Again, an internal question for ourselves. How do I hold the words of God? How do I esteem the scriptures? How do I esteem, general conference talks, so on and so forth? My own personal blessings. How do I, yes, it says hold. Beware how you hold them. So that's my own personal insight on that section. Nothing I wanted to share in the companion. Just very basic information. But, was there anything in the Ludlow? Let me check, sorry. Oh, yeah! Okay, so, in verse 9 it talks about Edward Partridge, and he should be appointed or ordained a bishop unto the church. And this is from Joseph Fielding Smith. It was a magnificent tribute that the Lord paid to Edward Partridge in this revelation on February 4th, 1831. He was called to be a bishop of the church and to be ordained a bishop unto the church and to leave his merchandise and to spend all his time in the labors of the church. In subsequent revelations, these duties were explained and the knowledge imparted that men called to this office were to be engaged in the temporal affairs of the church particularly. There is such an inference in the fact that the Lord directed Edward Partridge to discontinue his merchandising and devote all of his time to the church. Immediately following his appointment, he was assigned to actual duties according to the calling of a bishop and was engaged in caring for the members of the church in relation to their lands, inheritances, and other temporal matters which were vital to the members concerned. I remember thinking about about him being told to leave his merchandising and devote all his time to the church. These early members of the church were asked for so much, go from New York to Ohio. Let me show you. Okay, where is it? Here's Fayette, and here's Kirtland. So it's a whole state away. Okay. So first off, they're asked to go there. And as they're preparing to go, he's like, if you can't sell your house, just leave it. Just leave it. And then they get there, and we know that more things are asked of them, and they leave more and more things behind, and family, friends, belongings, houses, prominence in society, things like that. But here, Edward Partridge is asked to just stop your livelihood and focus on the church. That's your duty now. And we know that apostles nowadays are asked to do that, to retire and devote all of their time to the affairs of the church. But these early saints are asked so much, and we, bishops now don't quit their job and devote full time to the membership, and we're not asked to leave everything we have behind and travel across the country and on foot in the snow. We watched the movie 17 Miracles last night, and of course it's a tearjerker because it's about the Martin and Willie Handcart companies, but you see the sacrifice. Somebody said, if you leave now, we're going to be waist deep in snow. The trail is going to be strewn with your bones. Don't do it. Wait till spring. And then the leader said, I say we leave now. Who's with me? And everybody was willing to go to Zion. They all risked everything just to step foot in Zion. And, they lost children and loved ones and husbands and wives and friends along the way, but they did it for Zion. And we're not asked to do that. What are we asked to do? We're asked to be humble, to pray, to seek the Lord. Go about, live your daily life. Go ahead, do that. But what was President Nelson's first thing he said? He said, root out the debris in your life. Get it out of there. And how hard is that for us to do? He doesn't say, all right, everybody, if you can't sell your house, fine, leave it there, but everybody follow me this way. He's just saying, root out the debris in your life. That, develop some more faith. That's all he's asking of us. And how do we hold that in our hearts? How do we reconcile that to ourselves? Anyways, that's all I've got for section 41. 42 is broken up into most of this week. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, and it's a big one. It's 93 verses, but the law is given. So we'll get into it tomorrow. All right, see you later.